One of the easiest ways for you to increase your closing rate is to learn how to overcome those end of appointment objections. And I've watched this happen really well for salespeople all over the country. And it's one of the most valuable lessons, in fact, that I've learned after training thousands and thousands and thousands of roofing salespeople. These end of appointment objections, the common one, hey, thanks for coming out. We'll call you in a few days if we're interested. What many of us do in roofing sales, whether you're in storm damage roofing sales, retail roofing sales, or some combination thereof, and regardless of how long you've been selling, whether you started yesterday, you've been doing this for decades, many of us who are good with people, we want to create a good experience. Of course, we want to earn the business, but we do not want to be pushy, we don't want to be sleazy, and we don't want to come across as being salesy. So what we do instead is we literally overcompensate. We do the complete opposite. So when we hear that objection, we say, well, I don't want to be pushy, so I'm going to shift into what I call nice guy or nice gal mode. And then I'm going to do this. Maybe this happened to you. You get your business card, you say, I totally understand. Thank you so much for having me out. And I know that you and your husband want to be comfortable choosing a roofer. So if you guys have any questions at all, day or night, call or text is my personal cell, and I'll happily help you out. And then you leave the house and you go back to the office, and a couple days later, you're reviewing your pipeline. You're like, oh, they really like me. I think they're going to go with me. And then you follow up, and they don't answer. Follow up again, no answer. Shoot them a text, ghosted. Lose the deal. But it went so well. No, that's often what happens. So what if I told you that instead of that happening, there was a way for you to be persistent and confident without being pushy, to turn those objections that are basically shooing you out of the house into a signed deal, but most importantly, a happy customer who just signed the deal? Well, that's what I'm going to be teaching you right here in this video, the 3X objection handling rule. Now let's get started. Welcome back. Adam Bensman here, the Roof Strategist, and everything I do here on this YouTube channel, my podcast. In fact, this threads through everything I do, including our free training center, our full sales system that you can get access to for yourself or for your team, and inside our community and mastermind, the Pitch Pro Movement. It is all aligned by this one vision. And if you've been tuning in, you know it. What is it? It's to help you and your team smash your income goal and give every customer an amazing experience. So if you're new here, hit that like button and the subscribe button so you don't miss a thing. I put out new content on the regular. And I invite you to join me inside our free training center. If you like this video and you want more, I've got an entire playlist in there that is going to go really well with this video. It's the objections playlist. So text the word free to 303-222-7133. Again, that's 303-222-7133. Text that word free and we'll pop you a link. Once you're in the free training center, click the Pitch Like a Pro video training library, click objections. It's going to help tee up everything we're about to cover here. In case you need some groundwork on that front, there's a link in the description as well. All right, let's rock and roll. What I've found after training thousands and thousands of sales reps is these end of appointment objections, people fall flat. They can do a really good job at the doors, getting the inspection, even in the home, but what I just see is like, man, we just got to lean into that. We got to not be so afraid of being pushy, because believe me, I don't want to be pushy either, but there is a very big difference. And I first want to explain that difference before I give you the 3X objection handling rule, and then a little challenge for you so you can put this to use, and I'm going to teach you how to use it. So first things first, being pushy is trying to force someone into a decision. Okay, trying to force their hand. Some of the like chintzy, dated objection handling approaches. I'm just gonna use a storm example. When someone says, we're not interested, and be like, what, you're not interested, you're getting a roof practically free? Like, that's insulting, it's forceful, it's pushy. I get that. But on the other side, there's persistence. Persistence is simply asking questions and keeping the conversation going. Even when you've been a little rejected, that's being persistent. Pushy is being forceful. Persistent is starting a conversation to pull some more information out. Do you see the difference? Think of being pushy as me trying to put the pen in your hand, wrap my hand around your fist, and put it on that piece of paper and sign it. Being persistent is trying to say, let me learn more about where you're coming from so I can better serve you. See the difference there? So what we're going to focus on is this persistent side. And becoming persistent and confident takes repetition, and it takes intentional practice. And for my friends out there who are really excited about personal development, intentional practice is the key ingredient to substantial professional and personal growth. We don't just show up at work and say, I'm going to work harder and work better at this. Like, you don't have a plan to follow. You don't have a strategy in place. So what's worked really well for me is having that clear intention and a plan, and that's exactly what this 3X objection handling rule is going to do for you. So here we go. First, what we're going to do is learn the ARO objection handling formula. Acknowledge, reassure, and overcome. I don't know why I had 4 fingers. Acknowledge, reassure, overcome. I go through this in great detail in the free training center, in the objections library, by the way. So text the word free to 303-222-7133 if you haven't yet, and hop in there and take a look. High level details. A is acknowledge. Repeat back what you've heard so they feel heard. R is to reassure and validate them so they understand that their thinking is normal. And you can even tell them what you know they're thinking. You've been doing this. And then O, overcome, is to further the conversation. Because at the end of the day, I want to ask you this. What is the number one purpose of overcoming an objection? It's to keep the conversation going. It's that simple. So even if you ask a dumb question or the wrong question, which by the way, I'm being a little facetious here because I don't actually believe there's a dumb question or a wrong question. As long as you're keeping that conversation going, you're going to extract more information and start to get to the real root of the issue. So there are two paths to overcoming an objection. One is explaining it away, and the second one is asking an open-ended question, starting with how or what. Let me break this down so you can see it in real life. I'm going to use a storm example. Hey, the other contractor said he could eat my deductible. Explaining it away is saying that's illegal, it's fraud, we don't do that, we don't cut corners to earn your business, yada, yada, yada. Path number two is responding with a question. Acknowledge. I understand the other contractor said he could eat your deductible. Reassure. And I don't want to blame you here for trying to save a little money or not, pay more than you have to if someone said that they would just fully absorb it. And then, overcome with a question. What perplexes me though is how they're going to do that. Did they explain to you how they could eat your deductible? Now what happens is that question is going to open up that wound. The homeowner is probably thinking, hey, well, everyone does it. If they're willing to do it, I don't care what happens behind the scene. But when I open up with that question, did they explain how they could eat your deductible? And now they're like, no. So I can respond with, do you mind if I share this with you so you know exactly what's going on behind your back? I think you're really going to want to hear this. And when they say, sure, now we can explain how the insurance money works and how it's illegal. We can use our insurance company scopes to support our case. Do you see the difference? Explaining it away versus asking a question opens up the wound, helps them realize something they don't know, and they're often more receptive to listening. Now, let's stitch this all together into a plan. The ARO objection handling formula is your tool to use for the strategy of overcoming every objection at the end of an appointment 3 times. You have 3 questions you're going to ask, and you're not going to leave that house until you try them. And it's going to be weird at first. It's going to even feel maybe a little uncomfortable at first. But what will happen in time is these repetitions over the next 14 days, that's my challenge to you. For the next 14 days, every objection you hear at the end of an appointment, you're going to overcome 3 times by asking questions. Using that ARO formula and asking how or what questions. And I'm going to just go through a few of them so you can see how this works. But with these new repetitions, you're going to develop new neural pathways in your brain. You're also going to be more confident, thinking more quickly, coming up with these questions because it can be a little awkward and weird. And you're going to learn that by doing this, you're going to be persistent and you're going to uncover the truth of what's beneath the objection that homeowner told you. Because I think you and I agree, like if they say, thanks for coming out, I got to talk to my wife about it. They're not like so excited to go pop a bottle of rosé, be like, honey, I love that first roofer, the second roofer, not so much. Third guy, he's in the running, but his price was a little higher. That's not what's going on. Would you agree with me there? They're not so excited to say, we got to discuss it. What that means is we're not ready to make a decision. I don't know if I trust you yet. Maybe they've got another roofer coming out. Maybe they've already had the 3 estimates and they already made a decision to go with the other one. We just don't know. So instead of shifting into that nice guy or nice gal mode of giving him your card, tell him to call you anytime, day or night, and then just leaving and letting them end the conversation, you're going to ARO, acknowledge, hey, understand that you got to think about it, or talk to your wife about it, reassure. I know it's a really big decision. You want to choose a contractor that you like, that you trust, who's going to do good work, not take advantage of you. I've seen the news. I know what people think about roofers. And then we overcome and say, hey, do you mind if I ask you what it is you'd like to think about so I can leave you with that right information? And they say, actually, what we need to think about is which of these 3 estimates we need to go with. And then I can respond with, hey, do you mind if I ask you what is the most important thing to you when it comes to choosing a contractor? Oh, this. And then I can ask another question. So what is your decision criteria when it comes to selecting a contractor? Yada, yada, yada. And then they start extracting more information just by asking these questions. And what you'll find sometimes is folks that will say, thanks for coming out. We'll call you in a few days if we're interested. When I say, hey, do you mind if I ask, what is it you'd like to think about so I can leave you with the right information? They respond with something simple like, we work from home and I'm on Zoom all day. I can't have the noise. Do you guys do roofs on Saturday? And then you're like, wait, what? That was it? Now I can overcome it. So by using this challenge, the 3X objection handling rule, so you can use that ARO formula followed by an open-ended question, and you are going to handle every objection 3 different times at minimum. You do this over the next 14 days. It's going to be a little weird at first, but you will find yourself either in camp 1, where that truth serum comes out, the homeowner tells you what's really going on. It allows you to serve them better, understand their needs and their desires, and guide them to signing that deal right there on the spot so you leave with that signature in hand. Or option 2, even if you don't close it right there, you now know the truth. You extracted more information. You built a better relationship. You served them, you listened, and now on your follow-up, you know the real reason that they weren't ready to sign the deal. So you can better serve them on your follow-up and then close it on step 2. So that's all I've got for this video, to teach you the 3X objection handling rule. I want to ask you to drop a comment. Are you going to start the challenge? Drop the word yes in the comment section below so I know, and you know, most importantly, so you know, and you commit to yourself saying, you know what, I'm going to do this. I'm going to use intention. I'm going to learn how to not be pushy. I'm going to learn to be confident and persistent. And I'm going to learn how to overcome every objection 3 times by asking how or what questions. And I'm comfortable with it being weird at first, but I know that in time, I'm going to refine those skills, serve my customers better, and become an even more confident closer. And I cannot wait to join you on this journey. So comment yes if you're in. So just because our video is about to wrap up doesn't mean your and my time has to. You might be wondering what it would be like to get your entire team trained up or get you trained up on this entire closing strategy and objection handling strategy. And if that's you, click on the link in the description. Got program details in there, or you can just text the word demo to 303-222-7133 so you can see and decide for yourself if our training system will live up to training your team in a lightning fast 9.5 hours, arming the team with everything they need to self-generate their own leads, direct mail letters, door hanger letters, everything, and becoming confident closers right there in the house, backed by my 30-day money-back guarantee. If you're not satisfied, I buy it back from you. So if that interests you, click the link in the description or text the word demo to 303-222-7133. All right, now if you want to keep cruising along on videos, hop into the free training center here or hang with me on YouTube, jump into this video, and I'll see you on the next one.